What is going on, YouTube? Running on Sports back here with another video. Today is our weekly college football news update. We got a lot of college football news to talk about today. We're really excited to share the news with you guys. And as always, please subscribe to our channel if you have not already. Follow our social media pages at runandgun_sports on Instagram and at runandgun_sports on TikTok. And with that being said, leave a like down on this video as well. Share this with your friends if you'd like. Also, the NBA playoffs are still currently going on. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Atlanta Hawks 125 to 91 on Friday. On Saturday, the Phoenix Suns defeated the Los Angeles Clippers 84 to 80. Very close, low-scoring game, and they now lead the series 3-1. So will the Clippers come back, or will the Suns pull it out in a 5-game series? And then Sunday, the Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Atlanta Hawks 113 to 102. And tonight, the Clippers versus Suns, Game 5. Suns win. They are in the NBA Finals, and very interesting game. We'll see what happens, and it's gonna be a ton of fun to watch. In the Suns at this in Phoenix, so the Suns do have the home court advantage for that game. And so let's get right into the video with five-star athlete Trayon Webb announces his top 3 schools: Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State. 4-star athlete Ja'Cory Thomas commits to Georgia. The number 1 player in the class of 2022 announces his top 4 schools. JT Talamalu, as we mentioned very many other times, a great player, defensive end, weak side defensive end, but also during his high school season this year and last year, they threw him out there at receiver, and he was running through guys, and that was a sight to see. No one wanted to tackle him there at all. I don't blame him at all. It's very scary, just considering his size. He's a massive human being, and just really impressive how athletic he is, especially for his size. And I really fear for whoever has to tackle him or whatever, because that cannot help. And he's just big. He's pretty quick too for his size, which is part of the reason what makes him such a good defensive end. But it's kind of funny to see him run out there as a receiver. He's 6'4.5", 277, just a massive human being. And I think that he announces his top 4 schools. He's from Sammamish, Washington, Eastside Catholic High School. His top 4 schools are Oregon, Washington, USC, and Ohio State. So we'll see if he stays on the West Coast to Oregon, Washington, or USC, or if he'll go over to Ohio State. And originally in the top 5 was Alabama. He was supposedly supposed to go to Alabama the day he announced this top 4, and that he'd no longer be going to Alabama for a visit there. And it's kind of odd. I actually have seen people say that a lot of the 2021 high school class people are in school, early enrollees. We saw a bunch, especially for the Alabama spring game, but there's a few for other teams that honestly surprises me that he's making his decision so late. And what what the reason is behind that, I have no clue. And right now, I think that if I think he'll go to Ohio State. He's had in the Washington area, the 2 best recruits coming out of there lately, G. Scott Jr. and Emeka Ekabe. Sorry, I pronounced the name wrong. Very tough name to pronounce, but have both gone to Ohio State from the same area. G. Scott Jr., 5-star wide receiver, the number 1 wide receiver in the class of 2020, was a freshman wide receiver last year at Ohio State. Got actually some good playing time with the team and played in the national championship game. They high school teammate of JT Talamalu, and so I think that really will affect his decision as well. But also at the same time, I've heard that Oregon is a leading candidate, which makes no sense to me because Oregon is known for wasting talent. I'm not a big fan of Mario Cristobal. I just think that he is not the greatest decision maker, and I think that he recruits decently, but I just don't think that he's really that good of a coach, and I think he's definitely lost them some games, and is just, not that good for him, and I think he's extremely overrated as a head coach. He would be a great I think he could be a defensive coordinator in the NFL, but I just don't think that he has the decision making to be a head coach at either the college football level or the NFL. But I think that honestly he'd make a good defensive coordinator in the National Football League. And Washington, obviously the hometown team, I'm sure they're giving him their best shot to get the number one player in the class. No real chance of him going there at all. And I don't think Washington will really have any shot of getting him. But USC, another team that probably won't get him either. I think right now it's between Oregon and Ohio State. Ohio State's clearly the front runner, and I think that USC picked up Corey Foreman, the other top lead or the other number two player of the class of 2021. So that is also, he's not going to get much playing time. He's got to split it with a guy who's just as good, or if not better, but equally talented. And I think that if he goes to Ohio State, there's no one really that good. Is good. There's good people at Ohio State, but no one as good as him. And I think that he could come in and start as soon as as his freshman year. So it'll be very interesting to see, and I'm expecting that decision to come through very soon. I mean, the class of 2021 is graduated already, and he doesn't even know what school he's going to, and it's very interesting why that is. And maybe there's a good reason behind that, and who knows. Jared Kerr, four-star safety, commits to Texas A&M. Five-star wide receiver Brandon Iness from American Heritage High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, has announced his top 10 schools: USC, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Florida, Florida State, Ole Miss, and Miami. So we'll see if he stays in Florida, that has many schools to offer, or whether he'll go to Ohio State, Georgia, USC even is very far away from Florida. Ohio State's also pretty far away. Clemson is decently close, but we'll see if he stays in the state of Florida, if he leaves the state of Florida and goes to one of those other teams. Four-star linebacker Ish Harris has committed to Texas A&M, and I think that those two commitments, Jared Kerr and Ish Harris, from going to Texas A&M, really going to help that team. Last year, that they had a great team, obviously, but it was obviously the offense, and I think that the offense was their success. And I think that adding these 4 and 5-star talent guys to your roster on the defensive side of the ball is really going to help them big time. And I think that they would have been a lot better with a better defense. They gave up 52 to Alabama, and that's a hard challenge to maintain Alabama. But I just think that their defense definitely could use some improvement, and I think that we'll see that if they continue to recruit as well as they did. And Jimbo Fisher obviously has a hard time figuring out the defensive side of the ball. He's an offensive-minded coach, great quarterback coach, probably one of the best in college football right now. But I think that, it's tough for him to be a good defensive coach, as well as being arguably the best quarterbacks coach in college football. But he's also a head coach at the same time. But I think that that's on him for recruiting. But I think that, obviously he's getting better at it. And picking up 2 4-stars in just 1 week is a very good job by Jimbo Fisher. 5-star wide receiver Jordan Hudson announces his top 3 schools: Alabama, Texas, SMU. He's from Garland, Texas. He's 6'1", 190 pounds, so we'll see if he stays in Texas at either SMU or Texas, the University of Texas that is, or whether he'll go to Alabama. Brennan Thomas, 4-star wide receiver, announces his top 6 schools: Alabama, Clemson, Texas, Texas A&M, Oklahoma State, and Oregon. 4-star quarterback Caton Hauser commits to Michigan State. 4-star defensive end Jahed Campbell commits to Clemson. 4-star defensive line Keon Kelly commits to Notre Dame. 4-star linebacker TJ Dudley commits to Oregon. That will wrap it up for today's video. If you guys have not already, please leave a like down below, subscribe, share this with your friends, And thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.